This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. We are live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. Day one of the Masters, which we're going to get into a lot over the next 3 hours. We have a busy card tonight in the NBA, small card in the NHL, and a massive one in the National Hockey League. So we're going to get into all of that. Greg Wyshynski covers the NHL. He's going to join the program coming up in 30 minutes. Tony Rizzo on the program in 90 minutes. A little NFL draft. What did the Browns do at number 6?
Guys.
And Steve Wiss, best bets in soccer coming up back end of today's show. Also, first of all, thanks for checking in on YouTube TV today, watching the show. For those of you listening on Sirius XM channel 158, we were sent a Taste of the Masters box from Clemson Chris, and it was delivered today, beautifully, right on time. Backstory to that: it is very difficult for us to get deliveries here. Stuff gets lost 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know what's in here. I have an idea, but I don't know exactly what comes fully loaded with this box. We just got it, and I think we should probably open it up live on the air, Paulie. How are you feeling, by the way?
Good.
You must have been, because you have, and you gave out in pocket yesterday, Fat Pat Reed.
Love him.
At 42-1. You must have been smiling from ear to ear today
the Eagle,
with his start.
Dallas Mafia loved him. I know, Human's favorite golfer. But Tia was off to a great start. And Rory's been the story. And he was phenomenal today. There were a couple guys who laid an egg. But going back, not only this, but as we talked about on the show and got several emails, tweets, whatever, people go crazy for the merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just go in and then you sell the thing for like 3 times the value what it is in the gift store. And the line's out the door for all 4 days, what it is for the merchandise. So people go crazy for this stuff.
Just having the conversation before the show, somebody asked me, how much money would you have to take on you? I don't even know if it's cash. It's probably not. But how much would you prepare to spend at the gift shop? And I'm like, well, seeing as how it might be the only time you ever go to the Masters.
You ship it right to your house.
And you're going to be buying for probably several other people. I just threw out probably minimum 500, and they both said, yeah, that's light.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be ready to spend more than that. I heard $17 million in sales over the next 4 days at the gift shop.
Oh, wow.
So
that's great.
And here's a sports betting lesson for me today, a mistake that I made because one of my biggest bets was on Jon Rahm at 18-1 when he was cleaning up on the Live Tour. I'm like, that number is probably going to be long gone come Masters week. Well, he turned into like 10-1 or below that, second shot on the board. And I actually hated it because he was far too popular. It doesn't matter. I listened to more podcasts last night. I read everybody was super high on Rahm. Like, it's his week. It's his tournament. He's going to win.
Yeah.
So somebody reached out to me today who does top-down betting and said, my God, there's a matchup right now with Scheffler against Rahm. And it's at maybe the most respected or the biggest offshore book in the entire world. They moved Scheffler all the way up to minus 165 in that territory. I'm like, holy hell, that's a big price in a head-to-head against somebody that's so popular. I could have used a bonus bet on Scheffler, which would have been a great EV bet at minus 122 to win it in a matchup. But I didn't do it because I didn't want to go against my Rahm future. Well, it took 10 minutes for him to be 4 strokes back of Scheffler. Now he's 7 strokes behind.
Yep, 4 over.
Every bet's a new bet.
Implosion.
As you said, like on New Year's Day, one of your resolutions. Every bet's a new bet. So that's a mistake. That's just play the math game. That was a good bet based on the numbers, and I didn't. And now I'm obviously going to regret this one the way it looks.
Yes. It could have been worse. He could have been Pottinger, what he did today.
Wow.
I mean, this guy, he was like 11 over on 11. Double, bogey, double, bogey, double. And he's 12 over.
Don't you feel bad for a guy like that?
I know. What a way to start. It reminds me, may rest in peace, I was on the air live one year with Dave Koken. And I think Ernie Els put up like an 11 right away, or a 10 on hole 1 or 2, whatever. He just had the yips of trying to punt on one, and the guy was like 8 shots back, 2 holes in. And it's just like, okay, I mean, this is once a year.
Yeah.
And 2 holes in, you have no chance, and you're not even going to make the cut. So sometimes that does happen, but it's a good leaderboard. There are big names. A lot of guys struggled today. There's a lot of surprises, and we'll see what's going to happen here. Maybe these guys can really put up a good score. That 5 unders leading already. You know, and Rahm wasn't the only one who crapped the bed.
Oh, no.
You know, Harmon, terrible. Weir, terrible.
DeChambeau, awful.
Can't lay 5 over. McNeely, no shot. DeChambeau, 4 over. Bubba Watson. Minwoo Lee. Hovland again. 3 over for Hovland. I know. And Fitzpatrick, my guy. Every year he's made the cut. He's 2 over.
Oh, he was totally, roller coaster ride today.
Yeah.
For Matty Fitz.
2 over is tied for 50th. Yep. Are you surprised? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know what's funny is that the 2 guys right now tied for first. Did you hear anybody make a case for Sam Burns?
No.
I didn't.
No.
And also, nobody was betting Rory. He drifted out to like the 5th guy on the board.
I didn't hear one person say JT either.
Yeah.
And he had a good round. And he's still out there. Morikawa, what do you think? Did you expect worse?
So
he's done.
This was after the show yesterday. From shopping around, I noticed that there was one book still hanging prices on Morikawa, and it did not. All the reports were not going well. Right, the farthest he hit a ball yesterday was 280 yards. It wasn't. He only took like 45 range balls, and that was it. And the reports were like, yeah, it's not looking so great. So I bet him at plus 210 to miss the cut. He's 2 over for the day. And I also found Justin Thomas plus 114 against him in a matchup, and I laid 47 cents with Hideki Matsuyama in a matchup as well. I tried to fade Morikawa as often as I possibly could because most books took him off the board. It came to my attention last night as I was shopping around. I'm like, he's available nowhere to bet against. So he actually, all things considered, he wasn't pathetic today.
No.
I was hoping for like 6 over and get him out, but... now he's going to be lingering around the cut line possibly tomorrow, the way it appears.
But Tia got off to a good start, too.
Did. Yep.
And then he fell apart.
So did Aaron Rye. And did he finish?
He's 1 under.
Yeah, he was 3 under at one point.
Yeah.
And by the way, look at this now. Justin Rose just hanging around. 3 under through 9.
If he does this again, man. First round leader? I know.
What do you say? Should we open this up?
Good, yeah. I want to hear from Humans quickly, too, while we do this. This was Humans yesterday, and he was strong on this, but fade Morikawa.
Dial that up in a second.
All right, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Humans.
Do not bet him. Fade him in matchups. He's a lost cause this week. Look, you listen to that interview, too, and you think about hockey players who are out there playing with broken ribs and all. And this guy's a golfer. He's like, just some other parts of the body don't feel right. Toughen up. Jesus. Get out there and play golf this week. It's a major. And, look, I've had back issues, too, and you go out and play golf and you're sore. But you can fight through it. There are ways I can't believe I bet on this guy. And I never want to bet on him again.
That's pretty strong.
Good, I know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he listened to his rant because he went out there and gutted through it. And he's 2 over, as you said. So it's not free money that he could still be in the mix and make the cut. So good rant from Humans and a little disappointment too, but he went out there and gutted it out and acted like a hockey player.
Is there anybody that you regret not betting on or that you would consider taking right now? I'm looking at X. I don't have a bet on him.
Yeah, he's been solid How about Boom Boom?
Wow, this is completely unsustainable.
I'm with you, too. Why would someone bet him to win?
Well,
but make the cut, I see. Make the cut, yes. But the people who bet him to win, you said you give up 5,000 to 1. It's...
Nobody took me up on that.
I know.
And,
he's 2 under through 13.
Right.
Boom Boom's top 10.
Wasn't he 2 under through like 3 or 4 holes? Now, I will point out, we got some tweets on this yesterday. When Mike Palm gave that bit of information, people were like, okay, let me take a shot on him to make the cut. They found almost 5 to 1 on him to make the cut.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe can he somehow just hover and like linger again like some of these guys that we talked about tomorrow and possibly get in there and play on Saturday and Sunday? Be a great story to have that happen. But right now, Xander is 13 to 1. His pedigree here, he does it every single year. That's one that I forgot to bet. I just got too caught up, and I forgot to add a guy like that to finish top 10, top 20 last night. And that, I think, is probably going to be a mistake because he's like almost Mr. Automatic here.
Yeah. A lot of people would like it. I'm worried about the Scotty or Rory Invitational here.
Well, true.
That it could just be a runaway in what they're doing. So what's in this?
So it appears as if it's wrapped quite a bit.
Oh, a lot of chips. Okay, that whole row was chips.
Okay, and I think we have the entire menu here, too, that they sent over. But I believe there's going to be a lot of, I got to be honest, too, I've never, moon pies, potato chips, and pimento cheese sandwiches, evidently.
Oh, my God.
And so...
we got mugs, glasses? Is
there any alcohol in there?
This is annoying.
I guess we were encouraged to drink any alcohol on the air today, which would be a fun one. Joking, of course. But yeah,
pimento cheese.
There's a bunch of pimento cheese.
Yes,
I don't think
yes.
I've ever had a pimento cheese sandwich in my entire life.
I thought you had one last year at Stadium Swim.
I think I refused to have it.
Oh, because it was hot.
Yeah, it was sitting there. It's like if you have a sandwich in your car in the desert and you have mayonnaise on it, and you 3 hours later remembered you probably don't want to eat it.
Mayonnaise.
But so there's a lot in here, and people order this every single year and get it delivered to their house, and they sit back, and they watch the tournament, and they sit there and they eat whatever they had delivered.
Oh, this is great. Thanks a lot, Chris. Top notch, baby. That's awesome.
Would you? You're not a big event guy in person. Would you ever go to the Masters if you had the chance?
No, I would go to Augusta, but not the Masters. It's just it's Woodstock out there. Everyone running around and crazy.
Here's what a buddy of mine told me. Ben from Nova Scotia, he and his buddies went 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. They said they were going to go for the whole week, but they actually got it through like Wednesday. So they showed up the Sunday before. They went to all the practice stuff. They had a chance to walk the entire grounds and all 18 holes. All right. They watched the par 3, and then they flew back on Wednesday to watch the entire tournament begin on Thursday. He said he would never. It was the best experience of his life. Wow. He was so glad to get out of there and then experience everything on TV after they just watched it in person.
Okay.
Yeah, so NFL Draft 2 weeks from tonight. We'll tell you the latest mock draft from an NFL insider based solely on what he's hearing coming up next.
Get VSiN Pro for just $9.99 for your first 30 days and start betting with the edge serious bettors rely on every day. Access expert picks, real-time odds, and actionable insights across every major sport. Plus, get player prop projections powered by Opta AI, daily picks delivered straight to your inbox, and betting guides for every major sporting event. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Friday's edition of Money Moves, we've got a great one. Mike Palm joins us in studio. We'll get his thoughts on the home stretch of the NHL season and some futures bets on who to play as we get closer to the playoffs. Will Hill has all sorts of bets in Major League Baseball, and Zach Cohen gives us the breakdown on the last 3 days of the association season. Speaking of, Pistons and Hornets love the team in this spot to get it done in that game. We'll tell you who it is on Money Moves, so don't miss it. It's 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money on VSiN.
Paulie whacked down a moon pie during the break. Sent to us here this Taste of the Masters package. Thanks again to Clemson. Chris, how was it?
Good. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, and we're going to get a loaf of white bread delivered so we can whack down the pimento cheese as well. Plenty of ice. This is going to last for the whole show, no doubt.
Sure.
All right, so Peter Schrager, now at ESPN, put out his latest mock draft, and he explained at the very beginning of the draft that he was in Phoenix at the annual league meeting last week. He spent a lot of time talking to sources and trying to get the latest intel on what teams might do with their first-round picks. And he wrote, "What follows is my first-round draft for the 2026 class. These 32 projections are based on what I'm hearing rather than what I would personally do at each slot. Nothing is set in stone quite yet, which is why I'm going to do a second mock draft in 2 weeks. But for now, this is my best guess as to how things could play out. Mendoza, naturally, number 1. Number 2, David Bailey from Texas Tech to the Jets. And I looked at a lot of other mock drafts last night.
Yeah.
Not a ton of other people had Bailey going second. It was Reese out of Ohio State, which has been the most common pick for a long time and why he has been minus money for a while.
At DraftKings, he's the favorite. Oh, Bailey had moved. Because I was going to say yesterday, Reese was the favorite to go second and third.
Was he really?
Yes.
Yeah. So I shopped around last night. I took a little plus 185 on Bailey to go second overall to the Jets, and I took a little more plus 135 or 140 today because numbers have been moving for a while. In fact, thanks to Tyler, viewer, who sent me an email, ftm@vsin.com. He's been tracking this now, and he has several more outs than we do here in Nevada to bet this. He has David Bailey at almost plus 525 in pocket to go second overall.
Okay.
And he thinks that this is going to happen. And as Schrager wrote, this is likely either going to be Bailey or Reese. That seems like obviously it's going to happen, I would think. And that the Jets were 31st in sacks last year. They only had 26. And he thinks Bailey is the guy for the Jets. And so maybe he turns into the favorite here over the next week, or maybe this is just incorrect info and Reese is going to be the guy all along. But as long as Bailey was still plus money, I had to take some of that last night.
Will Love go fourth? He's the favorite.
He has him going Love to the Titans, yeah.
Wow.
Which is still plus money, by the way.
Yeah. And it goes back to how early can you take a running back and feel good about it. And in today's NFL, and just plug and play. Plus 150 at DK.
He also had the offensive lineman, Spencer Fano, going to the Browns at number 6 overall. We'll talk to Tony Rizzo coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes. I played a little Fano to go 5th and to go 6th. He had a great breakdown on why, this is Schrager now, talking about why Fano would make the most sense out of the offensive linemen who are going to be there on the board at number 6. He has Jordan Tyson of the Chiefs at number 9. I actually hope that's Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, to the Chiefs, because I bet that. But Tyson would be the first wide receiver taken, which would be a nice number right now. In fact, he also has Omar Cooper going 16th to the Jets, Denzel Boston going 23rd to the Eagles, and 3 other wide receivers going in the first round. In fact, he did slot 6 at that position in the first round. That's as high as plus 180 right now. And again, Paulie, this is based on what Peter Schrager wrote in his mock draft, what he's hearing. Mm-hmm. At number 32, the defending champs now, Seattle Seahawks, no more Kenneth Walker, the MVP of that game, is off to Kansas City. He put in Jadarian Price, running back Notre Dame. Price is 7-1 at least to be a first-round pick, and 2 running backs in the first round pays 5-1.
Oh.
At least it did last night at Caesars.
Okay. Excellent.
But again, of the mocks I looked at last night, not a lot of people had Price or another running back going in that first round.
Okay. Some other observations. Downs has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
He's over 9.5 minus 330. And total quarterbacks to go in the first round over 1.5 is minus 190. Ty Simpson draft position 24.5 over minus 230.
Minus 230.
A couple weeks ago, Orlovsky took us for a ride. With this, I reached out to a bunch of people and said Simpson's a better prospect than Mendoza. Will the guy even go in the first round? So,
what'd you make of that whole thing?
I thought it was just, it's a slow time. Let's get in the news cycle. Let's come up with something.
And oh, by the way, when he doesn't have to put a name on that,
oh yeah,
it could have been who knows what kind of a person
neighbor.
that was?
Yeah, I talked to my neighbor.
Yeah.
Two guys behind the glass.
Or it could have been like the eighth guy in charge with the football team.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Because for them, it turns into 2.5 days of content.
Sure.
And it just,
and the clicks and, oh, boy, this is really something else here.
You know, like whether it's Kuiper or, whoever, Field Yates, just say, hey, do something crazy in your mock draft, whatever.
Well,
or say you're hearing this and do some ridiculous trade, but you have a good source.
Remember, I think it was Kuiper's first mock that he put out, and this is a while back now. I probably want to say in February. He had Caleb Downs going second overall.
Yeah, there it is.
And that was like 35th overall. We're like, hold on a second here. Nobody else has this anywhere close, has Downs anywhere in the neighborhood of going second overall. He was 35, 40 to 1. Like, am I going to really bet that a couple of months out, or are they doing that just to get... And it was probably Kuiper just, well, let me do something a little bit different here than what everybody else is doing. And now you're saying that he's
9.5 over 330.
There you go. Yeah, That's all you need to know.
Yes. Yeah.
What would you look at with that quarterback prop? With that under being plus money, under 1.5?
Oh, I could see him going late first round or someone trading up to come in there in the first round and take him too. I could see that. But I would say over 24.5 looks to be the best bet.
Yeah, so
because it keeps moving.
The Jets then forget about it at number 16, I guess, huh?
Apparently, yes. I don't see him mocked anywhere either.
Neither do I.
Out of the respectable mocks in the last week, I haven't seen him go in the first round. That's the other thing. Well, you can urinate on Orlovsky's report too. Yep.
He also has Kenyon Sadiq, that tight end, the aforementioned tight end here, going to Baltimore, which would be a crazy good weapon in that offense.
Yeah, he's 18.5? 18.5 is over under.
Oh, how does he go? How does he slip that far?
Yeah. 15.5. 15.5 over minus 180.
Okay. I think people would freak out if the Chiefs take him at number 9 overall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, Kelsey's going to come back, but I mean, he wasn't that big of a weapon overall at Oregon, but the guy's an absolute monster on the field. If they took him at number 9, the immediate reaction would be, okay, now they got the Travis Kelsey for Mahomes for the next 10 years. That would be the instant reaction. Now, would it play out like that? Who the hell knows? But I would actually rather see them take a shot on a tight end like that, super athletic, big dude, rather than try to take another receiver high, which it feels like they've done now like 10 years in a row.
Well, the other thing, too, is I know it's based on need and who's drafting where and all this, but just put on the tape and tell me Bain doesn't go top 5, top 6.
Yeah.
I mean, how that guy dominated last year.
No, the short arms, Paulie.
He's 8.5 over minus 150.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just another one where I think he's going to be a great pro. And he would have to go top 7, top 6.
Rahm just had a long putt for a birdie, did not sink it, and now he'll have one that's close to get to par here on this hole. He is 4 over through 10. All that steam on Jon Rahm to close second on the board to win this event. And horrible start. It had to go the exact opposite way for me and many other people.
How about Gary Woodland?
I know. Great story here. And he just had another putt for birdie, but he missed it.
He's 3 under through 9 and right there with Scheffler. Good job. Boom Boom still 2 under.
Yeah.
Aaron Two Gloves has a birdie.
It would be.
Uh-oh.
This is Adam Scott.
That's going in the water. Yeah.
Hit the brakes, pal. Boy, that's a long roll. And in the drink.
He's in the drink.
And he is disgusted.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate.
Man, he's grabbing his knees here for a good 20 seconds.
He's disgusted.
Oh, he really is.
He was in the mix.
Yeah.
He's 1 under.
How about another guy, Jason Day?
I know. Humans 100 to 1, right? Humans had pizza money on him, 100 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's right there, too. Tied for 3rd. He finished 3 under.
I would like,
good job.
Just for the narrative of this, if Justin Rose could get hot here on the back 9, again, he's 3 under through 10 now. He was the leader in the clubhouse last year after round 1, and that was 66 to 1. Today he was around 30 to 1. But if he would do this again, I mean, back-to-back years.
Yes,
and
awesome.
That's another guy that I don't have Rose outright at all, but Humans was saying, took a flyer on him as well at the number with the course history here.
I'm a positive person, and know you tend to be negative. What I thought JVT had an interesting analogy though about if you put the Super Bowl on and you miss the first quarter or the first 7 minutes. I thought they did a better job this year with all the coverage on Amazon.
Okay.
I didn't think it was,
Yeah.
So I don't think there's no need to freak out anymore. I think they did a good job. I was watching at 8 in the morning Pacific.
Yeah, same here.
I think Amazon picking it up early was was good. Now it's only Amen Corner and featured groups.
Right, yep. But
and then he
still,
did it at 10, but it's still, I know.
It was better than nothing.
I know. It was just bizarre that it didn't come on until 3 Eastern for all that time. And you're sitting there. There was a couple years where Tiger was done.
Yeah.
And you didn't even see the first round. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Did you notice the one feed today, they had no commentators on it? So it was just the natural sound at Augusta, and there wasn't a play-by-play guy. There was nothing.
Fox did that years ago on an NFL game.
I remember that.
No announcers.
Yeah. Big NHL card on tap tonight. We'll talk about it with Greg Wyshynski, ESPN. We'll discuss teams that recently fired head coaches. How long will this work for Vegas? And is there enough time for it to work with the Islanders?
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Huge card tonight in the National Hockey League. We'll talk about it now. We go out to the Progressive guest line as Greg Wyshynski joins the program, does a great job covering the sport, senior writer at ESPN.com. Greg, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So let's start with this. The fired coaches here recently, with not a lot of runway to go before the playoffs. It's working out swimmingly with the Golden Knights so far. They're 4-0 since they brought in Tortorella. How long do you think that this will continue here for Vegas?
I think it was a genius move because, first of all, if you've lost your competitive fire, there's nobody in the NHL that can get it back quicker than John Tortorella, and I think that's one reason why the Golden Knights are 4-0 under his tutelage. But more importantly, they've relocated their dominant defensive game. If you look inside the numbers in these games that Tortorella has coached, they have the best expected goals against per 60 in the league. They have the best scoring chance percentage in the league. They're playing great shutdown hockey under this guy. And when you think about potential playoff matchups like the Ducks, like the Mammoths, like the Oilers, these are all offensively oriented teams that they're going to have to get through in the Pacific. And I think doubling down on the defensive play, as Tortorella does, is the right way to go.
Do they win the Pacific?
It's a good question. I think they've got a shot. The thing that gives me pause about Edmonton, obviously, is that they've miraculously found a way to make their goaltending worse, yes. Which I didn't think was possible. Uh-huh. But for me, Vegas is the favorite to get out of the Pacific, just because I think that not only is the goaltending worse on the Oilers, but I think that overall their team just isn't as deep and as previous incarnations that made the Cup final were.
What'd you think of bringing in DeBoer? And he goes tonight for the Islanders as they host Toronto.
It's funny. I was on the island earlier this week for his introduction, and I was talking to Matt Barzal, their star forward, and he's like, I was laughing when the Golden Knights hired Torts 8 games left in the season, and then we go and do this with 4 games left in the season. So it's like even crazier. Listen, I'm a huge Pete DeBoer fan. I think he gets tremendous results from his teams, especially in the regular season. But also with Dallas going to the conference final 3 straight times, I don't know how much runway the Islanders have here to try to sneak in. They are chasing a number of teams and teams that are playing pretty decently in front of them. I think if I had to pick who I thought the second wild card would be, it'd probably be Ottawa at this point. But a number of the Islanders I spoke to had the right mindset here, which is that it's not simply a hire for the next 4 games; it's a hire for the next 3 years as well. And I think he's going to be a real good fit there in the long run.
Okay, who's the MVP?
It's a great question. So we do an awards watch every month on ESPN. The next one is going to run on Monday, the final one. And I'm intrigued to see where the wind's blowing. It's kind of gone back and forth. I think McKinnon has steadily been one of the leader with a sense of, best player, best team. He's due for another MVP kind of deal. I'm intrigued to see if that's what kind of keeps in place. I had a lot of voters tell me if the Sharks made the playoffs, they'd flip their vote and give it to Celebrini. And I still think Celebrini's going to get some support, although maybe not enough of it. And then you come to Connor McDavid. And so what's happened late in this race that I find really interesting is the Draisaitl's been out. And, usually it's one of those deals where how can you give it to McDavid? He's got Draisaitl on his team. Well, without Draisaitl in the lineup, McDavid's been absolutely tearing up the league. And I think the fact that he's played so well without his co-star in the lineup might be a very late convincing argument for some people to cast their heart ballots for Connor McDavid.
For those who missed it, Connor had a hat trick last night, 5 points overall, as Edmonton went to San Jose and beat Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks by a score of 5-2. So obviously the Sharks now pretty much kissing their playoff chances goodbye. But are you saying that had they made the playoffs, Celebrini maybe would have won the award?
Easily. I think he would have won it in a rout. I mean, if you look at the point differential between him and the next highest scorer on the Sharks, you think about where they were and where they, where he took them this season. It's funny. I was listening to the Kachuk Brothers podcast earlier today, Brady Tkachuk said he would have cast his ballot for Celebrini regardless if they make the playoffs or not. Now, he's not a writer, as far as I know, so he doesn't have a vote. But maybe that mindset is the prevailing one for a number of people, where the season that this kid had at his age is just so impressive, and he's been so important to his team that he still gets support. The one name we didn't talk about is Nikita Kucherov, and I think the issue with Nikita is that the Lightning look like they might not win their own division. And if you don't win your own division, I think that's going to be a little bit harmful to his candidacy. But his numbers are as good as anybody's in the league this year.
This is a great story that they've ended the drought in Buffalo. Can the Sabres win a series or two?
Oh, I think so. I think if they win their division and face either Boston or Ottawa in the first round, both tough outs, both teams that I think could give them a little bit trouble defensively. But overall, I think the ceiling is quite high for the Sabres in the Eastern Conference. If their goaltending remains as good as it's been, and it's been a bit like the fourth best goaltending in the league so far this season, and as long as these guys don't all freak out because it's their first time in the playoffs, then I think they're quite good. They kind of remind me a little bit of that St. Louis team that won the Cup that year a couple of years ago, where they sort of found themselves within the regular season and then became such a wagon that they became unstoppable. Without Florida in the playoffs as sort of your big dog on the block, I think the East is really up for grabs, and it wouldn't shock me to see them play at least in the Eastern Conference Final. Well,
okay, so with that being said, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been scoring goals for fun here for a long time, Greg. I don't think you can call them a sleeper. They have 96 points after all. They're 10 points behind Carolina, second place in their own division. What would your prospects be for a Pittsburgh run here in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, they're a really intriguing team. I mean, the way it stacks up, it looks like they might have a little Battle of Pennsylvania action against the Flyers in the first round if Philly takes care of business. And, I think that's an interesting series, but ultimately one that the Penguins could advance from. And then you'd probably have the Carolina Hurricanes after that. And the Canes are an interesting team in the sense that top to bottom, they might be the best offensive version of this team that we've seen. They don't have that one superstar player that they've tried to acquire for the last two seasons, but they've got crazy great offensive depth. Problem being is that I'm not really enamored with their goaltending. Brandon Bussy's been a great story for them, but I don't know how long he can carry you. They still had Peter Kochetkov there. It's not great. The goaltending does not inspire too much confidence, and it could ultimately be their Achilles heel. And if that's the case, then the door might actually be open for Sidney Crosby and the Penguins to potentially play in the Eastern Conference Final.
There are 14 games tonight. Do you like anything, have a play, or games that have your attention?
Man, I've been so knee deep in all the preview stuff and such. I haven't really gotten a chance to break down any of these matchups per se. But as far as games I know I'm going to be watching, the Utah-Nashville game is a really fascinating one because you have Nashville really desperately trying to get into that second wild card spot, and you have Utah with a chance to clinch the first playoff berth in franchise history tonight. So I know that the Mammoth are favored in that one. They're coming off a really emotional win over the Oilers. So if you're looking for a decent spot, I mean, that could be one with knowing what's on the line for them, being at home and playing some really good hockey since the Olympic break.
Here's one that was pointed out from our NHL sports betting insider here at VSiN, Greg, and that is look at the Calgary Flames tonight, basically saying that the Avs have nothing to play for. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, and betting against fading the Avs is not something I have much of an appetite for this season. But, if you're looking for good value, that's not necessarily the worst place to be. And Lord knows it would be tremendous value as I see that Colorado is minus, 340, yes, I think, in the money line tonight. Yes. So, hey, listen, if there's one piece of betting advice I could give you, as we've seen this season, take the over. I mean, it's been kind of the NHL season in a nutshell, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, you're not kidding. You can follow Greg on X. He is at Wyshynski, senior writer at ESPN.com. Read him there throughout the entire season as well. Greg, that was awesome. Thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the games tonight.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Join us on the Progressive Guest Line.
Well, last time they played, it was 9-2. So you think, and then the Davis angle is every time Calgary scores 4 goals or more, they win. So he's also getting involved with props with Calgary team totals as well. 14 games. There are so many games that stand out with first period overs and first 10, and then plus the Islander angle with DeBoer. I mean, you can get creative with first period stuff. You're catching Toronto on a back-to-back, and they figure they jump on them early. Utah's played 11 straight overs first period, 10-1 run.
Hold on to that.
Hold on. First 10 too.
Hold on to all this information. I know you're loaded here like a Gatling gun, and there's a lot to get into because I think you're right, Paul. Tonight feels like a really fun night to bet the NHL. And you look up at some of these scores right away. You get 3-2 with 4 minutes to go in the first. Like what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So Win loses up next. Paulie's going to run it all down. Some unbelievable numbers in hockey. And he'll tell you about a 10-point move last night that was a winner next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays. Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Tell Von Tobel on your next podcast you can have the Nuggets. Take them. They don't defend. Grizzlies first half money line, 9-1. 72-68 at the half. Denver ran them out but didn't cover as they were laying 23.5.
Well, we talked about that total. Their team total was 133.5. I'm like, my God, that's high.
Yeah.
Even though they have been getting there and they wanted it over that number again last night. Okay.
238.5 up to 248. Serious 6 steam. And it got there.
Well, that's honestly, the first number that I saw in that game was 243.5, and I didn't bet it. Mistake there. But if you saw 238.5, that's, clearly the market got that one right. But how do you open that up? Honestly,
with
between those
guys.
two teams.
Magic 5.5 up to 12. And the over, 226.5 up to 234.5. 132-120. The guy to play was Shannon for the Wolves. He was 11 of 14. He had the 30 points.
Unfortunately, I don't know if he was available.
Probably not.
Yeah, I looked into that, yeah.
All those guys, yep. Spurs under, good call, Zach Cohen. 236.5 to 229.5. Alexander Walker did it again. 8 of the last 9 games, he scored at least 20 points. And a huge favorite to win most improved. A's yesterday plus 175. A's today plus 165. They won 1-0. The Yankees had 1 hit today. 1 bleeping hit?
That's it?
Can't say that on the air. Oh, man. That was it. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Darren Ravel tweeted this last night. This guy was at a thrift store in Toronto, and he saw this green jacket. He goes, let me take that. I like that. That looks good. 1994. He bought it for $5. It's a genuine 1950s Masters jacket. He later sold it at auction for $140,000.
Pretty good ROI.
Yeah. Actually seems low for the 140. But what's it doing in there? How did that happen? 1994, it's in a thrift store in Toronto.
Phenomenal question.
Wow, that's good. That is excellent. Lose some. The Twins just swept the Tigers. The Tigers cannot hit. They got the bats going too little, too late yesterday. Valdez gave them nothing with a bad first inning. I believe they have the 3rd worst record in baseball going back to mid-June.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, they totally blew the division last year. You're talking about the Tigers, right?
Yeah, Tigers.
Yeah.
They are putrid. And the Twins with that bad team and bad offense just got the broom out on them. Lose some. This was all over the news and social media. Lady goes out to her car. Walking by. Seems innocuous. No big deal. Oh, here comes a bear. He was in the car. Comes jumping out the window. And now she's got to haul ass and wonder. Okay, on about his business he goes. I mean, what is that? Remember the one video we showed a couple years ago? The kid, the bear was opening the door,
right,
and walking in and just going into the door in the car and hanging out. Here, the guy jumps in and then jumps out and startles the lady.
Is that a cub? By the way, there's a cub in the back of the car.
The cub, yeah, the cub jumped out the other. Okay.
How many people die of a heart attack from that?
No kidding.
That's
lot. Incredible. That is strong. All right. Excellent. Jeff and the crew do a great job at Sharp Place. They've been with Follow the Money since day one. Look for the Mr. Poison tweets every day. AI plays up 30 units the last couple of years. The last 2 years. When the Sharp Plays moves, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, and feared. They've been winning for 15 straight years. Baseball every day. Playoffs next week. NFL draft coming. All of it documented, posted publicly. SharpPlays.com. Start winning with them. Give them a follow. SharpPlays.com.
Okay.
14 games, pal.
Run these down. I can't wait. I have one bet tonight. I want to add more.
Well, I agree with Jonathan Davis. I think you should get creative with something with the Islanders in the first period. He laid a goal in the first period. Toronto on a back-to-back out of it. Islanders' new coach, DeBoer, takes over. They are minus 170 to win in regulation. And you can lay a half in the first period if you want as well, which I don't mind. And I like as well. Columbus takes on Buffalo. That's a great candidate for first period over. I believe every game this year between the two, the first period's gone over. High-scoring teams, Columbus has gone over 5 of the last 6. in the first period. Buffalo only $1.25 at home, should have a backup goalie in as well. Pittsburgh Penguins, 6.5 against the Devils. The Penguins are on a 15-1-1 overrun for the game and a 10-2 run, goal in the first 10 overall. 10 of the last 11 on the road has seen a goal scored in the first 10 in Penguins games.
So this is what Jonathan Davis wrote today about this game at VSiN.com. If you like goals, this is the game for you. He ran down the numbers you just did for the Penguins, and he said 14 of the last 18 Devils games have had a combined 6 goals or more. 12 of the last 18 have had a combined 7 goals or more. The Penguins, again, they are scoring goals just, to have some fun.
They played a game a week ago against the Islanders. No score at the end of one, 8-3 final. That was one where it didn't happen. Yeah.
So I played their team total over 3.5 tonight at plus 133. I got that out here at stations in Las Vegas. They still have that number available. Westgate had plus 125. Other spots had like plus 105 to plus 115 on that. But that's one way to approach it, I think. So how else do you want to do this? And by the way, I haven't been doing this year. I know Dave Tooley did when it was red hot for a couple of years. Would you consider parlaying the first period in this game over along with the Columbus-Buffalo game, and the other one would be Utah?
Yes, Utah, 11 in a row.
Maybe a round robin with 2s tonight?
You can get creative and go over 2.5 as well. And there's several ways you can go around the world in the Penguins game. First 10, first period over, game over. But don't forget about the game over with the run they're on. Winnipeg, they play St. Louis, 6 in a row, goal in the first 10. Calgary and Colorado played last week. It was 9-2. Total 6.5.
That's
could go first period over there again. Nashville and Utah, as you mentioned. Utah's $1.60. Big game there. Utah overall, goal in the first 10, 10 of 11. Utah, that's on the road. Throw that at home. Throw that out. There was something on San Jose's taking on Anaheim, another candidate. San Jose on the road, which they are tonight. 12 of the last 14, goal in the first 10. Columbus, by the way, no, they're at home. That doesn't fit. So, and the strong numbers with Utah as well. Vegas, I have to play Vegas again until they lose. They're $1.10 to win in regulation. Taking on Seattle, they're $1.90 to win if you don't want the regulation. LA's a big favorite against Vancouver. LA's $1.60 to win in regulation. That's a total of 6.5.
The first game that JD texted me about today, or DM me about, was the Calgary game against Colorado. Basically tell you the same thing. Basically said he loves the Flames tonight. The reverse puck line with the Flames, if you want to get absolutely bonkers, is like plus 575 in the game. But you can find plus 250, maybe even a little bit higher on Calgary tonight. His point was, like, Colorado has nothing to play for, and you can probably see a healthy amount of their backups playing in this game tonight. Plus, it is total revenge for Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
They were outshot 26-9 in that last game when they were outscored 9-2, and they were outshot 49-29 in that game as well.
Yep.
So maybe a little revenge here. That game wasn't that long ago, so it's like probably still a bitter taste in their mouth from that spot.
In addition to the San Jose 12-2 on the road, goal in the first 10, it's 22-5 overall, last 27. And Seattle, they're at home tonight, 17 of the last 20 at home. They've had a goal in the first 10. Incredible numbers. Thanks to Ian Duncan and the guys in Chris Otto. Are the Rangers are they on the road? That's another good one. The Rangers are not on the road. That doesn't fit. No. That's 12 of 13. They were in action last night. So
I did see the Utah first period over around minus 130.
Yes, I know.
The Penguins game, the smallest price I saw for the first period was minus 148. When I was looking a little bit earlier, and I got to be honest, I never looked at the Columbus and Buffalo game yet. Did you see a price in the first period? Probably $1.50, maybe a little bit lower than that. Buffalo plays in these absolutely crazy games.
Yes. Man, you got to like it with a backup goalie, too.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Maybe get creative, have some fun with it. These streaks are fun while they last, but it's the Pittsburgh game, for example, scoring that many and getting Detroit tonight, playing in all these games as well, similar to that.
$1.40 Buffalo.
Okay, manageable.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a big night. Week left in the regular season. Good card and a lot of candidates.
There's no way there is enough room here for DeBoer to make this work and get this team into the playoffs, right? They just don't have enough time left.
Three back, 4 to play. Stranger things have happened.
They need some big-time help, though.
Yeah. Maybe waited too long.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to miss Patrick Waugh as well, pulling the goalie with 7 minutes left. It's another one.
The other thing is...
Strange timing, though.
You know, this is always like a big betting thing, has been for as long as I moved out here and talking to people who do this professionally. once that coach is fired, you want to look at them the next game. We call it the new coach bump, whatever. We talk about it all the time. Like, can this actually be a thing into the playoffs for the Golden Knights? Because
why not? Yeah.
They were like they have enough talent to go on a long run. They just underperformed a lot. They had injuries obviously this year.
They blew out Edmonton last week. They should win tonight.
Yeah.
Be 5 in a row. And can they win the division? That's the other thing. It'd be tough though if you face Edmonton in the first round.
Yeah. We'll jump back into the Masters.